Hi everyone, it's Marissa from bumblebeeapothecary.com, and today I'm going to show you how I like to roast a whole chicken in the oven. This is something that's been requested, and it's one of my most favorite go-to easy, fast, and nourishing dinners because it seriously is as fast as throwing a frozen pizza into the oven. Let's jump in and get started. One of my favorite things about this recipe is how many possibilities there are. You can keep it extremely simple. Just throw a whole chicken in a pan, put some salt and pepper on it, and you're done. Or you can add more seasonings. You can add dried herbs. You can add fresh herbs, you can add onions and carrots around it, other root vegetables. There are just so many different ways you can go with this, but it can be as easy as, like I said, salt and pepper, and that's it. So let's talk a little bit about cook time. So the type of chicken that you have is going to impact this a lot. So these are the chickens that we raise ourselves. So free range pastured poultry tends to be denser, it has better structure, better quality ligaments and everything, and that just means a longer cook time. It also means more nutrients, but for cook time it means longer cook time. So if you're doing a grocery store chicken, it's going to be a lot shorter. You can probably roast it in 1 hour. For these chickens that we grow ourselves, it always takes at least 2 hours. This one is actually a huge one. This one is 7 pounds 4 ounces. We had some really big ones this last summer when we raised them. So I'm actually planning on roasting this one for 3 hours. So what I like to do is to start off at a higher temperature first for the first about half of the baking time or roasting time, and then go to a lower temperature for the second half. So I'm going to start this at 425 degrees Fahrenheit, and then after an hour and a half I'm going to lower the temperature down to 325 degrees Fahrenheit and then finish it off for another hour and a half. So I'm going to start just by adding my salt and pepper. You do want to make sure that your chicken is as thawed as possible, and that will really help not have a surprise at the end like, oh no, the cooking time is done, it's time for dinner, and it's not done, still raw. So just make sure it's as thawed as you can get it. I just keep these in the refrigerator for days before I plan on cooking them, and then that way they're pretty much thawed out. So I have some of my high quality mineral salt. This one's Celtic sea salt. I also really like Baja Gold salt. I need to buy some more of that one, but I have Celtic sea salt here, and then I have some regular ground black pepper, just a quick little sprinkle, and then I am going to go ahead and chop up an onion and a few carrots to put around this while it roasts. So for these longer cook time dishes where it's going to be roasting for a few hours, I tend to keep the chunks kind of on the big side. I will stick a little bit of an onion on the inside, just a small little piece, just in the very opening. I don't stuff it because then that really increases the cook time. And then I'm going to do some carrots. I'm going to do 6 of them. That way that ends up being our vegetable part of the meal too. If I opt for the really fast and easy version of just putting salt and pepper on it and throwing it in the oven, then I'll usually just saute some vegetables when it's closer to time to eat. And then another option is always to roast something alongside it, like some winter squash or pumpkin.
A chicken.
Yeah.
It's a nice chicken.
It is a nice chicken.
His toes.
His toes? Are those his toes?
My toes.
Yeah, there's your toes. Do you remember when we took care of our chickens in the summer? We'd go feed them. Do you remember that? All right, and then it's gonna go in the oven, in the 425 degree Fahrenheit oven for an hour and a half, since it's so big and it is free range. Again, if you're doing a grocery store chicken, you could do half an hour at 425 and then half an hour at 325 and you're probably good. If it's a smaller free range chicken, I would do 1 hour at 425 and another hour at 325, and then for these massive ones that are like a mini turkey almost, I'm doing an hour and a half at the high temperature and an hour and a half at the low temperature. So in the oven it goes. And then just gonna set my timer.
Timer.
There we go. And then I'll be back once it's ready to change the temperature. I'll probably show you that step. And then when it's time to take it out and serve it. All right, my first half of the cooking time is up, so I'm gonna go ahead and lower the temperature down to 325 degrees Fahrenheit and go for another hour and a half. Alright, so we're back. The chicken should be all done roasting for the full 3 hours, half at the higher temperature, half at the lower temperature, and it looks great. Smells good. So from here, I like to just let it sit and rest for a few minutes when I first take it out of the oven before starting to cut it, and then I will just cut it up and we will enjoy it. You can serve the carrots and onions alongside. It's what we like to do. If you're using bone broth, remember if you're on GAPS intro or just starting out on the full GAPS diet for the first time, you want to do meat stock. But if you're at a point where you can do bone broth, you can save all the bones and use that to make bone broth. So anyway, I hope that you enjoyed seeing how to make a lovely roast chicken. Hopefully you enjoyed seeing how easy it is. Like I said, it's one of my favorite really fast, easy meals. You just have to plan ahead a little bit to make sure you get it into the oven in enough time before you want to eat, especially if you have these bigger free-range ones. But other than that, the prep time is so hands-off, so easy, and so delicious. I also like to make these to give to people when I want to bring a meal to someone because I know that they're easy for me and so delicious. They'll enjoy it too. Check out that description box for links to free ebooks and lots of other goodies. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, share it with anybody else who you think would like to see it, and if you're new to my channel, please hit that subscribe button. I get out 2 new videos every week on nourishing recipes and natural living. Thanks so much for watching. See you next time. Bye.
Ba-ba-da-ba-da-ba-ba.